if you don't find an innings eater, like you need that right now. So they could make a move soon. I just don't think there's a premier starting pitcher out there to add to your rotation for the playoffs.
The Dodgers-Rockies series continues tonight, and it's interesting because Bobby Miller returns for the Dodgers. You kind of forget about who else is sitting on the injured list for teams sometimes. Bobby Miller at his peak can be a prime playoff starter for the Dodgers. I know it didn't work out for him last year, but it was his first go-round in the playoffs, but he's got the stuff to help this team make a World Series run if his shoulder's okay.
100%. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Dodgers that are on the IL right now, starting pitchers-wise. And who's going to step up with Yamamoto going down now? I mean, Buehler getting rocked again last night. I mean, geez, what was it, 4 or 5 in the first inning before, it was like, oh, boy, here we go. There was no FU on anything again, as he said his start before. So, Glass now, how long can he keep going? Because he's kind of been the one solid thing that they've had. But they need Bobby Miller. They need somebody else, Stone. Kershaw, is he coming back? When's Yamamoto going to be back? When's, it's like, oh boy. But they still find a way to win. But yeah, they need Bobby Miller to be good.
Shows that the Dodgers' depth is awesome. Dodgers have great depth, but they did not have any depth in starting pitching. It was said at the beginning of the year, they put a lot of money into this team. Even with all their guys out there, Bobby Miller is still, to me, he's their number 2. I don't think Yamamoto's taken his spot yet, but now Yamamoto's on the IL. Talking about giving Buehler a extended breather. Like there's a lot. If your starting rotation's hinged on Glass now, they're going to add. They're going to add. That's it.
You think they're going to add a premier starting pitcher, like a playoff starting pitcher at the trade deadline?
Premier? No.
Well,
I don't know that any premier are there. But to me, if there's a team that moves on starting pitching before everybody else, somebody that's going to eat innings, because now we're talking about who's eating innings for you. To me, I don't think Bobby Miller goes too long today, just coming off the IL. Glasnow's proven he's not a 7 or 8 inning guy, and that's okay. He's getting a lot of strikeouts, but all this is going to wear this team down. And other years, they're the best team in July. They're the best team in July because they don't crush their guys in the pen. To me, if you don't find an innings eater, like you need that right now. So they could make a move soon. I just don't think there's a premier starting pitcher out there to add to your rotation for the playoffs.
And also some people bringing up Gavin Stone and the impact that he makes. So same thing, young starter. Let's see how it plays out for the rest of the year. But a dude that stuff-wise obviously can pitch in the playoffs for them as well. You know what I'm saying, though? It's like depth starter versus playoff starter. Or, like if you need a guy to get through innings in the second half of the season, okay, and that's easier to acquire, of course. If you need a dude that's starting game 1, 2, or 3 for you in the playoffs, get in line and also not easy to find. How many of those guys are going to be available at the deadline? Maybe 3?
Yeah, no, not even. Usually there's 1 or 2, maybe. But who's out there? I mean, the problem is this year, especially if it stays like this for another couple weeks, almost every team in the National League thinks they're available or viable for a playoff spot, right? And they have nobody available. I mean, other than the Marlins and the Rockies, and other than Jesus Luzardo, who on the Marlins does anybody want? And usually nobody on the Rockies is up for trade, especially the top of the rotation guy.
Yeah, they don't have a playoff starter.
No. So, so then you go to teams that are still alive. Who do you want?
Well, it's your squad, who we might get to later, but it's potentially Crochet. I actually think Fetty could be a playoff starter.
Fetty's a better trade chip for me if I'm a team than Crochet. Crochet has never started. Crochet has already had Tommy John. Mm-hmm. Crochet has never thrown more than like 30 innings professionally or whatever. I forget what the exact. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
But he's already way over that number, right? So what's his limit? And is he going to have to be shut down at some point? So yeah, you're like, hey, we acquired Garrett Crochet and his fastball and all his punch outs, but he only has 12 more innings left in the year. See what I'm saying? So to me, Fetty's a proven commodity. He's pitched for a whole year. He's pitched a whole KBO year. He's done it all. He's done that. So you know what you're going to get. And to me, and plus he's already signed to a contract for next year. So to me, he's a more reliable trade chip.
Yep. Makes sense.
What about
Bryce,
this?
you agree?
What if I go outside the box here? I got a GM who trades tons of people, that has tons of starting pitching and needs an upgrade in the offense. What if Brian Wu becomes available? How much does a Mariners starting pitcher getting traded affect their depth? Not as much as other teams. And does Brian Wu step in for a team? I just thought of him while you guys were talking about it.
No.
Doesn't happen?
Brian Wu, no.
No.
Brian Wu has elbow questions also.
Yeah, also, I don't know. Are we talking about the league in general, or are we talking about the Dodgers? Do I see the Mariners and Dodgers matching up for a trade? No. You're just saying in general? Does that pitcher
I'm saying in general because to me, Eric Fedde is not a 1, 2, or 3, maybe a 3 on your starting rotation for the playoffs.
He's pitched pretty good. He's pitched pretty well.
Great. He's going to be an all-star. But where does he slot in there? And maybe I said Wu, and I meant more like the Mariners starting rotation. They have the most starters, but same thing can be said about the Phillies. Like, do they trade Christopher Sanchez because they have a bunch of guys? Could a team ever do that, or do teams just say, no, you can never have enough starting pitching?
I have other playoff starters for you, potential. I know it didn't work out for him last year, but he's a different pitcher this year. I think Jack Flaherty could start a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
This version of Jack Flaherty can start a playoff game. I do think that Chris Bassett absolutely can start a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Don't count out
the Blue Jays. Got a whole bunch of guys.
Right. So Luis Severino, can he start a playoff game? This version of Luis Severino? Sure. Right?
Depending on, yes, where the Mets are. The Mets
I know.
Keep going Grimace. They might never lose again.
Yeah, we'll get to Grimace. He doesn't talk much. But, okay. Good conversation and a little more info on SeatGeek for you. The promo code to use for a first-time user is FOUL, F-O-U-L, for $20 off your first order over at SeatGeek. And a little more information on SeatGeek with over 28 million downloads. It's the #1 rated ticketing app. And not only do they have tickets to the games, the concerts, the festivals, the whole deal, they are backed by their buyer guarantee and the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps. So the code is FOUL for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code FOUL. Make sure you click the link in the description so you can download the app if you haven't for the first time. And even if you're not buying tickets today, even though we gave you a good game to look at and there's plenty of others in MLB, still can go into the app, hit that promo so you have it in the account when you want to use it.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.